This is James Lupton for Round 8 Boxing. I'm delighted to join today on Fight Week. Kaipo, how are you doing?
Doing great, feeling ready. Ready to put on the show this Friday.
Fantastic. Currently, you record 9 wins, 1 draw, and no losses. I want to go back a little bit and go to the start of the journey. Do you remember your first day in the boxing gym?
Yeah, I remember. First time. I was like 5 years old, putting on the gloves. Yeah, my dad's gym. Um, since I was a little kid, my dad always was there.
So you really grew up around boxing and in the gym. What's for you? Is it something that you wanted to be, something that you wanted to do from a young age, or is it something that you really fell into because it was almost your natural surrounding?
Yeah, it was always my natural surrounding. Since I was a little kid, and since I was a little kid, first time I put the gloves on, I knew that this is what I wanted to do.
What did you like about the gym, especially at such a young age from 5 years old?
I just like being around, in the gym. Just having the gloves on. I liked fighting. So, I just knew that fighting is what I wanted to do since I was a little kid. I just like being around the gym and just putting in the hard work.
At what age were you, Kuiper, when you realized that you're good at it?
I think around like 8 years old after I won my first fight. And then after my first fight, it went straight to the Junior Golden Globes. And then I won that tournament. And then from there on, I just started going to all the tournaments and I was just kept on winning.
You had a very successful amateur career. I believe it's 18 national championships that you
Yeah.
won during your amateur career. Just looking back now, as a 10 fights in as a professional, looking back at your amateur career, how pleased and proud are you of yourself?
I'm very proud of myself because the amateurs. I gained a lot of experience from the amateurs, fighting a lot of different styles and just winning. Because 18 nationals is something hard to do. So I'm very proud of myself for doing that. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifices. So I'm very proud of myself of my amateur career.
You mentioned sacrifices, and it's a really interesting point. Obviously, you're still a young man now, but the sacrifices you've made throughout your teenage years, how hard was that to not go out with friends, not go to parties when you're invited and things like that?
I just always tell myself, if you want to be a world champion, those are things that you're gonna have to do. Work hard now and then, have fun later on in life. So just I always just put hard work first before I do anything else.
And that's really a champion's mentality to have at such a young age, Kaipo. When did the mindset almost change for you? When did you realize that the ultimate goal was world titles, world championships, and this is what you want to do for the rest of your life?
At a young age, probably around like maybe 15, 14, 15 years old, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to become world champion. Just do it for my father and do it for my family, and just become world champion. That's always been the goal for me.
And talking of your amateur career, for you looking back, what were your favourite memories? Obviously, as a lot of people say, the travelling around, going to new countries, things like that. For you, what were your favourite moments of your amateur career?
Uh, just putting in all the hard work and being in the gym a lot, working hard, going to different states, putting on shows over there and just winning.
Did you always enjoy winning, say away from home as such in other states, or did it mean more to you to win close to home?
Uh, both of them were good, but I did like putting on shows in Vegas, where I'm from, my hometown, so that my family could be there, my whole family. But going out and winning nationals was also fun, traveling and meeting different fighters and stuff. All that was all good.
Obviously, coming from Vegas, it's the home of boxing, the mecca of boxing. Um, you think of all the biggest fights over decades, it's all Vegas. What was the first fight you attended live?
Uh, in Vegas, I'm not too sure. I've been to a lot of fights when I was little. Um,
Well,
I forget my first fight that I went to in Vegas.
what's been your favorite fight you've attended live then?
Mm, maybe a Pacquiao fight. I went to I think he fought Ugas. His fight his before Barrios. That was a packed out crowd. And Pacquiao was one of my favorite fighters growing up. So that just being there and watching him fight live was a good experience.
I was going to mention, you mentioned Pacquiao and you say he was one of your favorite fighters growing up. Who were your boxing inspirations and your heroes?
I always liked Pacquiao. I like Crawford. Um, yes, back then I like Pacquiao, but now I like Crawford. He just had a great performance against Canelo.
Unbelievable performance from Crawford. And uh,
Mhm.
did you expect that from Crawford? Did you expect him to beat Canelo?
Yeah, I thought Bud was going to win because I feel like Canelo he just tries to rely on one shot, and like he don't really try to win the rounds. He just expects to knock somebody out with one shot, and if he did that, and that's what he was trying to do, I already knew Crawford would just outsmart him and too fast and too slick for him.
Now, look, champions are built in the gym, and you've had some fantastic sparring partners over the years. Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Devin Haney, Jorge Linares, Ramirez. Just talk to me about sharing the ring with these guys who are at the highest level in the sport and your experiences you shared with them.
It's great sharing the ring with champions like that. Just seeing their talent in the ring, being with them, and just learning from them. From I just like to take little advice that they give me or something that I see in the ring with them and add it to my game. Every time I see something that they do, I try to do it and put it in my game.
What's the biggest piece of advice somebody's given you that has stayed with you?
Um, they give me a lot of advices. A lot of people give me a lot of different advices, but I feel like one that stayed with me is just to keep working hard. When times like rough or get hard, just stay focused and just keep working every day and just be consistent.
Who was the trickiest to spar against?
Mm, I think Shakur Stevenson was one of the best I've sparred with, just because like his timing, he's smart, his IQ. Um, I feel like Shakur Stevenson was one of the hardest and smartest fighters that I've sparred with.
In terms of the guys you sparred, has it always been obviously because you're obviously a novice really in your pro career so far, still a very young man. Has anybody been taking liberties, or has it always been respectful? Has it always been learning for you?
Yeah, it's always been respectful on both sides. Just learning from all these different kind of fighters. Just just learning from them and just they just telling me what to do and just adding to my game.
And do you stay in touch with these guys? Are you still receiving advice from them to now?
Yeah, sometimes when I see them, I'll say what's up to them. It's always been respectful on both sides.
Fantastic. And obviously, I mentioned it's fight week for you. Fighting, correct me if this has changed, according to online, you're fighting Alberto Mercado
Yeah.
this weekend in Orlando. For you, obviously, camps finishing or finished already. What stage are we at currently for you, and what's the rest of your week look like aside from media work?
Right now we're already almost there. I think like 2 pounds, 2-3 pounds away. So now we're just cutting down the last few pounds and just really relaxing until fight night.
When it gets closer to a fight like this, like say a few days away, do you get more excited, more nervous? Do you feel more pressure? How are your emotions coming to fight night?
More excited, as fight night comes closer. I'm just ready to show people what I can do, and just put on a good show for the fans.
For you, what's the dream? Obviously, you're from Vegas. I imagine fighting at home in Vegas, one of these big arenas, big venues. What's the dream venue for you one day to fight at?
Uh, I say MGM because all the fighters, Floyd, Pacquiao, and Vegas. That's where they had all the big fights. So I say MGM.
And the last question, Capo. So, let's say after this fight, let's look at nearly towards the end of 2025 now. So let's go towards the end of 2026, just over 12 months away. Where do you want to be? How active do you want to have been? How many fights do you want to have had? And, where do you want to be in terms of the next step?
After this fight, I'll probably take like a 3 days off and try to get right back to the gym. And just stay busy, so I could be ready for the next fight. And I know that my promoters they do their job really good and keep me busy. So I always got to be prepared for whenever they give me that phone call.
For you, is activity key? Staying busy, good for you?
Yeah, I feel like for me being busy is really good for me, so that I could get better and better each time I step in the ring.
Absolutely. Well, Kaipo, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it during fight week. I know you're a busy man, and all the best of luck for fight.
Thank you.